Hello guys, it is me, the Tank Index here. So I know this isn't really a tank; it's an anti-tank rifle, but honestly, this is a tank channel, and I feel like honestly going over the anti-tank weaponry is just as important as going over the actual tanks themselves because you really have to take account at during the time the tanks were used, what would be used against them, not only in forms of other tanks, but in the forms of small arms infantry would use against them. Because that was a key point in a lot of tank design that, they had to take stuff like anti-tank rifles into account when designing armor. So in this video, we're going to talk about the only World War One anti-tank rifle, or the only one, significantly used, and it wasn't just like a prototype. The Tankgewehr, just expect me to mispronounce that a lot. M1918. By the way, I'm sorry there was no upload yesterday. I had a rehearsal for my confirmation because I'm actually getting confirmed on Friday, for the Christian church. So yeah, awesome. Anyway, so on to the history. Armor-piercing rifles were really first used to combat metal armor plating found, especially in sniper shields. If you played Battlefield 1, that's a real thing, and trench defenses as well. And they actually first took the form of elephant hunting rifles from Africa. I know this is just the guy from Jumanji, but I couldn't really find a different picture I liked, and I thought it was funny. Yeah, those were actually imported over and used to destroy those metal plating and later even armored cars. And that would develop into the K bullet, which is Friday's video, which could pretty effectively handle armored cars. This was really just a bullet you'd load into any rifle. It could be a bolt action, a single shot. You just load it in, you fire it, bam. You know, and then, however, then by 1917, those really were effective against the Mark IV tanks that were coming up, and there were like 2,000 of those, so you really needed something that could affect that. So it was decided that a weapon specifically designed against tanks would be needed. The Mauser company had already designed a 13.2 millimeter shell, which originally was meant to be used in a anti-tank and anti-aircraft machine gun, the water-cooled MG18. However, that was supposed to be fielded in 1919, and they needed something before that. So the Tankgewehr was actually designed as more of a stopgap measure, and it first began production in May of 1918. But by the armistice, about 15,800 were made. On to the actual statistics of the thing. The Mauser 1918 Tankgewehr used the 13.2 millimeter tough cartridge, which was the first cartridge really designed for anti-tank use. As you can see here, this is a British 3.303 millimeter shell compared to the massive 13.3 millimeter cartridge. So yeah, it was pretty big. Like we just said before, like I just discussed before, that's sort of the MG18. The rifle was a bolt action single shot rifle. Sorry, man. I am so tired this morning. And it had an effective firing range of about 550 yards, with sights ranging from 110 to 550. It actually had no sort of real control, so nothing like a muzzle brake, or like I think it's called a flash hider, meaning that the gunner would definitely need a prone position, and even then, the pure recoil of this gun could hurt the gunner, which is good because the rifle did have a two-man crew, one carrying ammunition and one carrying the rifle, but they were both training the rifle, so your shoulder hurts because the gun has such bad knockback. The other guy can take a turn. On to the effectiveness of the rifle. So online, it's actually surprising that the effectiveness of this rifle is actually debated a little. When the rifle was actually effective, it was very effective. Keep in mind that the Mark IV or 5 had an average armor thickness of 14 millimeters. Going over the yards at 110 yards, the closest its sight could do, it could pierce 26 millimeters or 1 inch of armor, which is a lot. That's nearly double the armor thickness of the Mark IV. At 210, it could pierce 18 millimeter armor. Sorry, at 210, it could pierce 23.5 millimeters. At 440, 21.5, and at its max range of 550, it could pierce 18 millimeter armor. All of these trials were done at 90-degree angles, I'll give you that. But the Mark V was an incredibly slow tank, and this rifle had multiple shots to actually hit it. So I really don't think that matters because you could probably get a good 90-degree angle. And either way, the chances of this bullet bouncing off instead of just going right through, you would have to do it at like the maximum range. And the tank, it can go 5 miles an hour. It's not dodging this. So yes, this rifle actually was effective. It was an effective vehicle, or not vehicle, rifle. On to the final segment. The Tankgewehr, damn it, fuck. it was a revolutionary weapon, and it was also effective at this time. And those two things don't always go together. So being a revolutionary weapon that would kickstart a type of small arms for decades to come, and also being useful during your time, that's actually pretty good. It set the standard for anti-tank small arms, which would be common all the way up to and a little after World War II. At the time, it was an effective way to counter Entente tanks, apart from, Germany actually making their own tanks, which they were lacking the production to make anything at that point. All around, this was a fairly good rifle for the time, and set the standard for just years to come. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next time, we'll be talking about the K bullets, because I do think they're interesting. That's the other thing we should talk about. So, yeah, I'll see you then. Peace.